This is something that a lot of you are familiar with. A lot of videos out there about ceiling fan problems. I got a quick video here of something that you might find that goes wrong with your ceiling fan. This one here, it won't change the speed of your motors. The motor, when you pull to go to 1, 2, or 3 and off, it doesn't do anything. Once you get it on, it's very hard to change the speed, or it won't change at all. This particular one is kind of intermittent. I got it on low speed and I couldn't get it any farther than that. So most experienced people out there know that it's probably this switch, the three-way switch that's in here. And it could be other things too, but this particular one, I think I narrowed it down to this switch here. So, and I'll kind of show you how I figured that out, and then we'll take a look at why this switch failed, and then put a new one in there. So it shouldn't take too long for this video, but first off we'll get started with getting some power supplied to this connector. We got a black wire in here, and then we have white wire on this side, and that's just like your regular house wiring. You need to have those two powered up. And I have just these little tiny pins here that I'm going to stick in there to get something to connect my little gator clips here, or whatever clip leads on. So we'll just stick one in the black, stick the other one in the white, and then we'll just clip our little lead on the black one. I have another one here, red, that I'll use for white. And then I have my trusty little extension cord here again, with my ends already cut off. Plug in on this side, and we'll connect the red to the white and the black to the black. The black is the hot, the white is the common, the ground, for your house wiring, AC stuff. We don't need to connect the ground wire here. We're not using it in this case. So your ceiling fan has a switch that turns it from spinning one way for the summer, spinning the other way for the winter. It either blows the air down or it sucks the heat up, depending on what time of year it is. What we're going to do is we're going to take the two middle pins. Well, you can see that there's 6 pins on that switch, and we're going to connect the two middle pins, one on the top here and then one on the bottom of the switch, which it's probably really hard to tell, but that's where we're going to put our meter on to test for our 120 volts and pull our string on our switch to see if we have a constant 120 volts. This particular one does not have that. I did a little testing before, I'll admit to it, but I'll show you what it does on the screen here. Get that in there so you can see that. And I'm going to hold my red and black on the two contacts there. This is live AC in a minute, so you got to make sure your meter is not touching each other or anything else that's metal, because you will have 120 volts over the meter. So I think I'm clear, and I'm going to plug this in. And you can see we have 122 volts. Now I'm going to pull this string to change it to like another speed, and it stayed at 122, another 122, went to 0, so that 3 volts or whatever, that might be the off position. Pull it again, 120, pull it again, it's back to the off position for some reason. You can see 3.9 volts, that's not right. But pull it again, 120, 120, 120, off. Let's see how it's intermittent. Most of the time it seems like it's right. Stuck in a loop now, it's always on. It's not turning off. And it's it might be flickering so much that my probes here are kind of moving, but see how it goes in the off position, and I just pulled it and it's still in the off position. It's still in the off position. Hope you can hear me clicking it. There's, pull it again, now it's in the on position. Now it's in the off position. Now it's in the on position. On position. On. Off. So it's very intermittent. It should be off, and then it should be on, then on again, but it's off. So right now I don't know where the switch is in the direction of the switch. There's 3 ons and 1 off. I don't know where I'm at in it, but when I keep pulling it, you can see how intermittent it is between the off and the on. So okay, that's on. So let's imagine that that's 1. This would be 2, another on. This would be 3, another on. This would be 4, off. So let's say that's in the off position. Pull it again, it should be on. Pull it again, it should be on. See, now it looked like it just went to the off position, like it's getting a bad connection. On. Now it should be back off again, and it's on. So it's very intermittent, the switch is. So that tells me that there's a problem with the switch. So I'm going to pull my probe out. I'm going to unplug this so we don't get zapped. So you can see it's intermittent. So we're going to take this switch out. I happen to have a new one right here. And we'll take a look inside here and I'll show you what actually goes wrong with these. This one I can't take apart because it's got the rivets that hold it together. And I don't want to break it apart because it's a new one. But this one is only plastic and it only is held on by 3 clips. So I'll show you the inside of this, what goes wrong with it. Alright, so let me take this meter off and get that out of the way. Now these have a little circuit board in here. This circuit board, this block right here, is just for the lights. Just for your 3 lights that's on there. This don't have anything to do with the fan. The fan gets its power from this connector, goes into this capacitor, has 3 different values of capacitance in there, and then it goes through this switch and this switch over here. Them are the only 3 things that is related to the fan. And the capacitor is good. I took my capacitor meter and checked it. So I'm going to take this apart, get this switch out of here, just come off with this, and we'll pop this open and I'll show you what goes wrong with on the inside of this. You can see this has 3 little clips, that green one, and that green one, and then it separates this black part from the green part. The wires will stay in there as long as you don't get too carried away, but these will have to come out to get put into our new switch though. And you can see on the back, let's see, right about here somewhere, there's a 1, a 2, let's see, a 1, a 2, and a 3, and an L. And that's your 3 speeds. Your gray wire, your green wire, and your brown wire. And your black wire is the common that's connected to the L. So you want to make sure you note that before you put in the new one. You want to make sure the wires go to the same numbers on this one here. So I'm going to pop this open. Just sticking my screwdriver in there a little bit to pry it up. Nothing should spring out at you, even though this is spring loaded. So this is our 2 pieces. That's what it looks like on the inside. I'll stick a picture in here so this way you can actually see what's going on. You can see this one here, that little piece right in the center, that moves when I pull this, and that's what advances the switch to the different speeds of the fan. And this is what it engages with, the white piece, and that's what rotates the contact that's on this white piece to touch the appropriate wires to give you the 3 speeds of the fan. So what I found wrong with this is these 2 pieces, that white piece right there and that piece that mates with it right there, get wore down, and that's why this switch fails from turning it on and off into the different speeds. And like I said, I'll put in a picture here and show you that you can see that this is wore down, and these 2 just aren't making good contact anymore to change the speed of the fan. So that's pretty much all there is to it for fixing this particular problem. Now there's other reasons why your fan might not turn, or the motors don't work, the speeds don't work. That could be your capacitor. It could have went bad, or it could have blown up. And when it blows up, you'll probably see it because it'll be really melted all over. Or maybe you have problems in your windings in your fan and the motor itself. So it could be different things, but check the easiest first. And they sell these, so this is probably the easiest thing to check first, especially if you check it the way I just checked it. But this is made out of really cheap plastic. It's a very poor design. They should have made it out of stronger plastic that makes it last longer. But I don't know how well this one's going to be when we put this one in there, but hopefully it'll last a little bit longer than this one that's in here. So I'm going to get these wires out of here and connect this one, and then we'll put our meter back on here and then see if we get our 3 ons and our 1 off steadily. And these wires come out just by pulling them out, bending that little metal piece that's running into the wire. Just bend that out of the way and then pull the wire right out. And the new one it's closed, so you'll just take your wire and you'll slip it in there and it'll engage in that little metal piece that's digging into the wire. So it's that easy. Alright, so once I do that, I'll come back and we'll show you what the measurements are for this one, and hopefully we get some steady results. Alright, so I have the switch back in there and I have my wires connected already the same way we did before. The black on the black, the red was on the white. Our switch is in there and secure. Got the pull cord here, and I'm going to put my meter on our switch, reversible switch here for the fan direction again. Got my meter here, and now we're going to see if we get a steady 120 volts on the 3 speeds and an off voltage, because I know there will be a little stray voltage there for our off position. So I got this held here. I'm going to plug in my little cord here to give us some power. I have the switch set in the off position right now, so you see just a little stray voltage that's going through the whole wiring situation here with the capacitors and everything for the motor. So we should have 3 ons and 1 off every time. So here's our off. I'm going to click it once. There's an on. I'm going to click it again. There's another on. I'm going to click it again. There's another on. And now the next one should be off. So that's exactly the way this should work. This one works good. The other one was intermittent. You never knew what you was going to get. It was like drawing a lottery. So this is off, on, 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 off. So we're good. On 1, on 2, on 3, off. Alright, so that does it. Pull this out without shocking anything, and then I'm going to unplug my cord. So there you go. It's an easy fix. Just make sure when you disconnect this, you probably want to turn the power off. Just turn the breaker off at your home box. Be careful with your live connections, and it's a pretty simple fix. So again, I'll zoom in to give you a good picture and to show you that these wear down. It doesn't look like they wear down too much and would cause this problem, but they do, because it's just cheap plastic. So don't let this fool you. This could be one of your issues with your fan not changing speeds. Alright, till next time, talk to you later.